Alright guys, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to build a GUI in MATLAB. Alright, how to build a GUI inside of MATLAB. And if you don't know what GUI means, GUI simply means graphical user interface, right? GUI, graphical user interface. So I'm just going to show you exactly how to use GUI inside of MATLAB, how to build a GUI inside of MATLAB. So yeah, make sure you watch this video till the end and make sure you're watching step by step so you will not miss anything, right? So the first thing we are going to do obviously is to come over to MATLAB right here. That's the first step you want to be able to do. If you don't know how to come over to MATLAB, just open a tab and type in MATLAB. It is super simple. Then MATLAB will open up this website right here called MathWorks right here. Click on the first one and then it will take you inside of the. Alright, so now that you're inside of the MathWorks website, you just go to the top right and click on where it says MATLAB. Super simple. Alright, so yeah, you're given two options. You open MATLAB online or install. The installation is actually a long process, so I'm just going to click on the open MATLAB online. So now that we're inside of MATLAB, as you can see, so the next thing we're going to do actually is to try to open the app section, right? So we can actually access the GUI inside of MATLAB. So there are two ways to do it, right? You can actually come to where it says app and then try to open it, but then you can also come to where it says open, where it says new right here. Come to where it says new and then go down to app right here. Right, there are different ways to actually open it, but then this is one of the ways I use. Alright guys, so as you can see, it's actually opened right here. So what you want to do next is you're just going to drag out um all the elements you're going to be using to build the app. So what you're going to do next, as you can see, is this is where we can visually design our GUI without writing all the codes manually, right? This is exactly it. We are not going to be necessarily going to be writing our codes manually, okay? So what's going to happen is that we're going to drag components, right? So what we are going to do, we are going to try and do the graph plotter. Like I said, we're going to try and do a graph plotter, right? A graph plotter, right? So we're going to gather all the components we are going to need, right? So we're going to drag out these few ones. One, we're going to drag out a label, which is to display text, right? We're going to drag out a label. We're also going to drag out a numeric edit field. We're also going to drag out a button and also an axis. I'm going to show you where these ones are right here. So as you can see, we can see the axis right here. We're going to drag out. We're going to also drag out the edit field right here. We're also going to drag out the button right here and also label. Right, so let's start with the label. We'll just drag it out here. We're going to position them later so it will actually look okay, right? But then basically this is actually it. So we dragged out the label right here. The next thing we're going to do is that we're going to drag out the numeric edit field, right, which is this one right here. We're going to drag it out right here, and then we're going to drag out the button, and then we're going to drag out axis right here, right? So super simple. So these are the four components we're going to need, right, in order to successfully make our graph plotter. Okay, so now we're going to try to rename this a component, right? It's actually optional if you want to rename. If you don't want to rename any of them, it's still fine, right? You can just leave them as they are, but you can actually rename them. And then I just want to tell you the label is actually for text or instructions. All right, the numeric edit field is actually to get inputs, right? This is where you put in inputs and all of that. The button is just a normal button that we're going to be using to give the results, right? Whenever you put in an input, right, you want to press a button that will now say go ahead, kind of like giving a go ahead signal. So that's what the button is for. Then we have the axis where the output or the result is going to be shown. Okay, so basically that's actually it, as you can see. So what's going to happen next is, right, let me just explain one more thing for you, right? So what we're going to do is, right, we're going to add interactivity, right? We want to make the button do something when we click it, right? When click on the button and then you go to code view, this is it. So we're going to click on this button right here. Let me do this right here. Let me put the button right here, and then let me do this field right here. Let me do it right here. Maybe it just makes more sense. So I click on the button and then go to where it says code view. All right, So now we'll go on code view right here. What we're going to do is that we're going to come over to the right where it says component browser. Remember, we're on code view, we have design view, and we have code view. You want to make sure that you're at the right place, code view. Then come here and then right click on the app button. Come to where it says callbacks, right? Because we want to give the button a command on what to do when the button is being clicked, right? So we just add button pushed FCN callback, right? So click on this one. So it's going to leave out a space where we can actually put in some codes. As you can see, notice this is actually what's going to happen. Now what we're going to do is that we're going to copy this, right? These are our x variables, right? These are the x variables, and then these are the y variable, right? X is equals to 1 to 10, right? 1, we have 0.1, and all of, we have 0, beg your pardon, 0.1 like that, and 0.2 like that, up to 10, right? If we want to display each of them, it's going to be very, very long, but we don't want to do that. So we'll just come here and then put in the code. Whilst x is actually y is equal to sign x, right? So it is going to be able to plot them for us. So I just copy this right here. This is just our example on, let's see if it will be able to plot the graph for us. But then I'll just come here and then, put in this right here, as you can see. Now it's very, very important that you notice certain things. This is where it's going to show the results, right? The result is going to be shown here, which is this one right here. This axis right here, this is where it's going to be shown. However, you want to make sure that the name of the graph, the name of this axis is properly known, because if you don't know the name of the graph, this is not going to show. You want to make sure that this is actually the name of the graph, result axis, right? So let's see if that's the name. All right, so as you can see, this is actually not the name, this is actually the name of the graph, right? It's actually called UI axis, as you can see. So we want to make sure that this is actually the exact name of the axis right here of this, because if we don't get this exactly the way it is, if we don't get this thing correctly, right, it's going to affect us. If we don't get this correctly, it's going to affect our code. As you can see, they're already telling us something about our specifying an axis handle as first argument. What basically this means is that our code is actually not the correct one, which we are going to correct it in just a minute. So I'm just going to do this UI axis right here. All right, so I'm just going to change this one. My code is actually not correct. This is supposed to be UI. All right, so this is going to be UI axis. All right, so basically that's it. So you notice that the warning they were giving us, right, the highlighting yellow highlights is gone, right? That's because we've just corrected it. So you always want to make sure that your apps dot name right here is always reflecting the exact name of this axis right here, which is this one right here. Basically you want to make sure that all of them, they reflect the right names. All right, so I had to check the properties right here to make sure that the name here corresponds with this name, right? App dot whatever name right here. Same thing with any of the same thing with any of the features right here, any of the elements. You want to always make sure that the names correspond with the actual names. So if you want to get the actual names, right, you just come here and then click on properties right here. You will see something like, looks like these 3 dots. You click on it, right, but then it's actually here properties. You just click on it and then the names will come up, so you'll be able to get the name, correct name, and then replace it. Okay, so that was a mistake on my part. So now what I'm going to do right now is, once I'm done with this, I'm just going to save it right here. Come to the top left and save. I'll just name it 5, I guess. All right, so yeah, so basically that's actually it, right? We don't need any other adjustments. I'll just come here and then click on run, and boom, notice that a new window just came up by itself, giving me the exact thing right here. So I'm just going to put in a figure right here. I'm just going to put in 34. Oh, let me just make it easy. I'm just putting 4. then click on the button right here. Boom, as you can see, it just designed the graph for me. Okay, as you can see, so basically that's actually how it works, right? As you can see, it just designed the graph for me. So basically that's how to make a graph, right? Do a graph plotter. Now obviously if you're actually going to do a graph plotter, you want to make sure that you actually do it well, and then go into more details and all. But basically this is actually how to build a GUI for a graph plotter. Okay, so I'm going to exit this right here, and then I'm going to come back here, and we are going to try to make something else, which is a simple calculator. And this is actually my favorite. So what I'm going to do for a calculator, I'm just going to, which is part of what I actually brought up, had in mind. Actually, I had in mind, I tried to make a simple calculator. So what we're going to do right here is, I'm just going to drag in all the components for the calculator. We're going to need an edit field numeric again. Going to need the second one. Boom. In fact, we're actually going to need a third one. And yeah, we're going to need a button right here, right? We're actually going to need more than one button actually, but then so that will not complicate things, right? So basically what this is, that we're going to put in a figure here, and then we'll make this one to be button to be called plus or addition or add. Let me call it add button. So this is where we name things, and then it's going to adjust the name right here. So it's going to be add. So if you put, let's say 1, and then put 1 and then click add, the answer should be 2. Now this is the result page. This is where the results are going to come up. So basically that's actually how it is, right? You can add more buttons like subtraction for subtraction, division and all, but then it's still the same process you're going to go through if you want to. If you follow me right here, you'll still be able to do the exact same thing. So I'm just going to name this one result. You can actually leave it, let's just leave it this way, right? But then you understand the basics. This is where we're going to put in the first number, second one. You can actually rename them number 1, number 2, and then results, depending on how you want to put it. But for this video, I'm just going to leave it. Right now we've done this, we're going to come to the button right here, because we want to make sure that the button does what it's supposed to do. So we click on the button, we come to where it says code view again. Right, so what we're going to do right now, we'll come and click on our just right click right here on your mouse right here, and then you click on where it says call back. And then click on where it says add button pushed FCN callback, right? So basically this is where we're going to give the command. And yeah, so now that we're here, I'm just going to take this code because I have a code, existing code right here. Now we are not going to take, let me take this right here and then come here. You can always ask ChatGPT to give you the code to design whatever you want to design. So if I come right here and then paste it, now there's going to be some errors, exactly as I thought. The reason is because we have this add button pushed right here, and we also have add button push right here. So there are 2 in 1, which is not supposed to be. So I'll just remove this one, right? It was basically the same thing with this one right here, so it's not necessary, right? That's 1, but they're still showing us some errors right here. And the reason they're showing this error is because 1, we have 3 ending, we have end here, and then end here, which is not supposed to be. So I'm just going to remove 1 end right here. Boom, as you can see, all green, all good, no warning found. Okay, so we've adjusted everything. So what that simply means is basically this one is not needed, right? This is the exact code we are going to copy. This also is not needed, this end. So this is just it. A equal to app dot edit field dot value. The edit field right here is of course this value right here, this first one, edit field, and then the other edit field 2 is of course this one right here, edit field 2, and all of that. So you can see the pattern right here. So basically this is actually how I named the code, and then we now do results equal to, right, the result section is actually this one right here, right, edit field 3. In fact, I'm actually going to name it edit field 3, right? I'm just going to name it edit field 3. I'm going to name it edit field 3 instead of results, because this is important. Remember, if we want to confirm the names of the file, for it to actually work, we come here to where it says properties and then click on these 3 dots right here. It will give us the actual names. right? So this one is called edit field 3, right? The result section, this result section is called edit field 3. So instead of this, we are going to put edit field and then give it 3. Let me come back here. So this is where we pasted our code. Where did we paste it? Our code right here. Where is it? Where is it? So this is it. So instead of this result right here, we're going to exit this and put edit field and then 3, because that's the actual, yes, this is it, edit field 3. Right, so basically this is actually how it is. All right, so basically that's it. Now what's going to happen next is we are just going to save it right here. Now that we've done it, we're just going to save it right here, and then you save it whatever name you want to save it. I think basically that's actually it, right? You can do the same. Let me put 6, or let me save it as app 8, right, just for this video. Right, oh, I'll just name it app 3, I guess. Save. Yeah, right, so basically that's it. Then we can run it. If you want to add extra buttons for subtraction, division and all of that, you can. I do have the codes right here. Let me just run the app right here. So we're going to try it out first. Let's see if it actually works. Right, so if I do 4, and then put 6 here, 6 or 7, 8, right, which means 4 plus 8 right here. Then click the addition button to add the both of them together, then add it, boom, it says 12, right? 4 plus 8, 12. So this is our calculator we just did, right, using the GUI, as you can see. So you can actually add extra buttons here for division, subtraction, multiplication, right? So what you're just going to do is that this same code you have here, the difference will just be this one right here, right? Because the values will remain the same. The A, which is the edit field, right, which is this one right here, will still be there. The edit field 2, so the difference will just be this one right here, result equals to. So let me show you what I mean. So I have the one for subtraction, right? It's the same thing. Remember, we'll remove the end section and we remove this one right here, because MATLAB is already going to display these ones right here, so they are not necessary. So all you have is this: A equals to the app.editField.value, B equal to the same thing, then the result. This is just the difference right here, right? The difference one from this one, right? As you can see, then we have semicolon at the ending. Don't forget to add it. We also have the same one for the multiplication, as you can see. So it's practically the same thing, and division right here. It's practically the same thing. The division, if you need to add a few extra ones. The division, you have to be able to know that if b equals 0, right, then you put in this. We are going to remove this, remember, put in 3 like we said, right, because that's what we did, equals to NaN. And or you're just going to put in some extras. You can feel free to pause the video and actually copy it to write it down, or watch the video again. I prefer you watch the video again so you can actually get it right. But basically this is actually how it works, and this is how we actually created our code right here. Right, this is actually how we created our code. So I can decide to run it again, and so we just actually see how it works one more time, and then I'll just put in, let's say 50, and then put in 80 right here, and then add, boom, 130. So we just created a calculator. So basically this is actually how it works. And yeah, I hope I've been able to show you exactly how to build a GUI inside of MATLAB, right? Do well to like this video if you got any value, and also subscribe to our channel for more videos like this, right? Subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. And with that being said, I will see you in the next video.